Welcome to Out of My Mind on YouTube, your hub for sports, news, current events, and culture. Subscribe to receive weekly insights in sports, engaging news updates, and culture. Quick, insightful, and always real. We bring you highlights, analysis, and stories that matter. Subscribe now to the Out of My Mind YouTube.
All right, so 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, what's going on, man? So I got my man Don Serius on the Out of My Mind podcast. So, first time I'm doing this with someone else. Usually me and you, we hit each other up through WhatsApp when I was either overseas or whatever, and we had discussed these current events and everything like that. So now, the hottest topic is this whole Cat Williams and him going in on everybody. You know what I mean? So I wanted to highlight. I wanted to talk to you because I know you do your thing, and we can get into that in a little bit. You could tell me. You could just discuss those things. You can let the people know it, whatever. But I give you a little backdrop of what I was doing today. So I was actually recording. I was recording a session myself, but I lost the file. You know what I mean? So I'll tell you what I was talking about. So I was basically looking at what has transpired, right? Cat Williams did this Club Shay Shay interview. And right now they probably hit I think it's over 20 million at this moment.
Yeah, it was like 7 a couple of days ago, but yeah.
Yeah, it's 7, but earlier today when I looked, it was like at 18 million. So I'm sure they over 20 million by now, right? So I'm looking at it. So obviously, it's a lot of viral segments that he was able to break down. He even broke it down. Shannon Sharp, they broke it down, and they got like 200,000 for like each of the segments he broke down. You know what I'm saying? Not just the full video. Now I'm looking at it from
Just
a different
smart.
it's very, very smart, very smart. So I'm looking at it from a different perspective. I'm like, all right, look, they recorded the interview before the new year, and then they decided to drop it post new year. You know what I'm saying? That's strategic. You know what I mean? It's good, but from a business perspective, this is the first fiscal quarter of the year. So, he could have dropped it at the last. He could have dropped it before the new year, and he would have ended the year off right. But it was probably too close to the new year. So he said, let's start off the fiscal year correctly. You know what I mean? So now he killing the game right now because I can't think of any podcaster with 20 million views to start the year off. You feel me?
Yeah,
He beat everybody
real.
to the punch. You feel me? So
I don't even
that's
think
number.
Joe Butler incident with the what's his name? Killer Cam. That didn't even cut it compared
Nah.
to this. But yeah.
And now, just to touch on that, Joe Budden, he's not even exclusively on Patreon anymore. He's releasing his joints on YouTube. You know what I mean? So it's not even a Patreon only subscription anymore. And I just started seeing his joints pop up on YouTube. And I never watched. I don't have nothing against him, but I never watched it because I wasn't gonna pay. But now, I don't even watch it.
I
But
mean, I tried to watch what they like allowed you to watch for free, but I mean, I like Joe Budden when he was a rapper, but I mean, I like his style sometimes because he could be a little controversial or whatever. But
yeah, his
it
approach is good. Like, they got the laid back approach. You know what I mean? And but it is what it is. But now with Shannon Sharp, like I said, they had a good strategy, right? So now
yeah.
that's number one. Number two, I'm looking at it like, okay, he really went at these people. You know what I'm saying? He touched on some things, but I want to look at it from this view. As a man, it's like, damn, chatty patty. You know what I'm saying? Dame Dash always talk about, chatty patty, right?
Yeah,
But at
yeah,
the
true
same
that.
time, it's not that he was being chatty patty. He was addressing some things that transpired on the show when those people were on the show. So he came there and he was addressing those things, right? So he kind of gets a pass there. However, I'm looking at it like, hold up. He he basically threw these people an alley oop because they're all in Hollywood. It's not like everybody else is in Hollywood and he's independent. No, he's in Hollywood too. You know what I'm saying? So now everybody is relevant. You feel me? Like everybody is on on the screen in front of somebody. Tiffany Haddish did her little she was doing a show and she talked about it. Cedric the Entertainer, Steve I don't know if Steve Harvey said anything, but Kevin
Well,
Hart.
he said some. From my understanding, he replied on the old Twitter, but now known as X. But they
Mm,
say he tweeted about it. I haven't read it, but I heard it's
okay.
reliable source that he tweeted it
Okay, so there you go.
about
So
it.
he tweeted about it. Ludacris did a freestyle. Um, I don't. Diddy
I ain't even
hasn't
heard
said it.
that.
Yeah, Ludacris did a freestyle. Um, and Kevin Hart. So this
And
is
what
what.
about that African comedian? I don't remember his name,
Oh,
but that's
Michael
highly
Blackson.
irrelevant.
Michael
Yeah,
Blackson. He said
yep.
something. So that's part two of what I'm saying. So it's like, hold up, he's generating attention. He done triggered the world. He done like literally done triggered the world. All most of America. I ain't gonna say most of America, but that's only 20 million. But he done triggered so many people that everybody's watching. You feel me?
And he
So
did
now
say that he was touring overseas, so you never know how many people he touched over there
you
too.
see what I'm saying? So everybody got something going on right now. So their ticket sales or their engagement is about to peak. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna spike right now because of this. Now the other side. Well, first before I go into this, what you think about that? Those points I just touched on. What you got to say about that? How you feel?
Okay, first of all, I'd like to say thank you for allowing me to be out of my mind podcast. I really appreciate it. I'm very grateful, and that's no cap. Now, what I think about what we just talked about, touched on off the top, I like the fact how you brought the approach or the perspective that like it's a psyop. When I'm not gonna say another name or any other names about another podcast I watched today, but all of his callers and this person you already knew what I'm talking about because you said he's kind of toxic, which he is toxic. So all his callers, their approach was that Cat Williams was genuine, and he was really speaking this from experience and observation, as if he didn't plot this or this not a psyop, or rather that he really threw them under the bus about what he revealed and seen in his lengthy time of being in Hollywood and comedy and all that. And you're the first person that approached it from a psyops perspective, and I like that because even this dude's podcast, he was like, you don't think or you're not sure that this is some kind of setup, that he went like called him like, hey, you think, hey, I'm gonna do this, blah blah blah, put y'all name out there, blah blah blah, but he didn't, come at, at that approach about how you saying that he's making all these other people more relevant again because they on they like to me they last leg, they washed out, they older, they really don't have that kind of buzz like the younger generation in Hollywood or the younger comedians or the up and coming actors. And I mean, a lot of them, I'm not gonna lie, they suck. I don't like Steve Harvey. Like he messed up that woman's name at that beauty pageant one year. I saw that
Mm,
live on TV. That was horrible. And then he's writing these books about being married. Everybody addressed that about how this dude been married 3 times. You gonna tell me about how being married? I agree with
mm,
that rhetoric. You know what I'm saying? And then
mm.
Cedric Entertainer, like I mean, he never really stood out to me. And I don't even know the African dude's name because
Michael Black.
Cat, yeah, he's right. That dude keeps being repetitive, but it's almost like you using the truth as if you're making it like I'm being sincere about responding to these people who saying what they said on the Shay Shay show, Shay
Mm,
Shay Club or whatever. Just say show, but at the same time, that could be very strategic and smart to make it look like these are my enemies when really they all in cahoots with each other. So yeah, I agree with that, and that would be smart because like Hollywood is so what's the word I'm looking for? Like radio and TV is what's the word?
I don't know.
Contrived.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that would make sense to me. Like if Hollywood is contrived, radio is contrived, TV shows contrived. That's why I really don't watch the news anymore or watch certain things anymore because I know it, or listen to the like public radio because I
So
know yeah
so it's
it's
crazy.
all
It's crazy you said that, right? So I'm gonna jump in right there. All right.
yeah
You just what you said, because I was gonna ask you a question. I was gonna ask you, you know, is that what you thought about if you watched it, if you watched the whole thing and what you thought about? Like I was gonna ask you a take, but I'm gonna get your take after I say this, right?
yeah
So you just made you just brought a point up that I was looking at. So Club Shay Shay, right? You said TV is contrived. Um, I don't know if that's the word you meant, but I kind of understand what you're
yeah
trying
it
to
is
say.
the word. Yeah, I know
Okay,
exactly
okay,
what that
all
word
right,
means. I had to
okay,
get it
okay,
in my brain. Yeah, it's the
all right,
exact
all right,
word. It's
okay,
transcript or it's scripted. It's you know what I
right,
mean?
right, right.
Yeah, yeah.
So check this out. Check this out. So Club Shay Shay is run by Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, he said he's the proprietor. He said that at the beginning of his show. I remember that word.
Oh, he's the proprietor of
His
Club
own of that. Yep,
Shay.
of Club Shay
So
Shay.
check this out. He's employed by ESPN, right? So Cat Williams comes through. He does Club Shay Shay, right? Well, today Kevin Hart responded on ESPN.
Yeah,
So when Kevin Hart did his response, he was joined by Andre Iguodala, who was a retired basketball player, and then there was three other guys, and one of the guys that was there with Andre Iguodala is like a comedian or something. I think he's the co-host for whatever show that they got, The Rise or something like that, right? It's called The Rise.
okay.
So Kevin Hart, so Andre Iguodala is like, I want to give you, you got to get your get back. He's like, you got to get your get back, and I invite you to, you got to get your get back because you had a very busy week. So he's like, he doesn't address Cat Williams directly, but he talks about the whole thing. And then the dude, one of the comics that's a co-host, he's just like going in. So it's like 3 against 1. You know what I'm saying? But in like behind all of that, ESPN is the puppet master, in my opinion, because ESPN employs Shannon Sharp, and ESPN is where Kevin Hart went to do his reply. You feel me?
That's
Now,
funny you said that. Can I say something real quick
go ahead, go
before I
ahead.
lose the thought? It's
Yeah, go
funny you
ahead.
said that because I do a lot of extensive research, and if I'm not mistaken, ESPN ratings was like plummeting, man. Like nobody
Hey,
was really
so
checking
yes,
them out no
so
more.
continue because this is what I was talking about also. So go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
That's the only part I wanted to add in there. What you were saying.
Okay, so you just hit on the nut. So we on the same type of time, right? So if you remember, before they hired Shannon Sharp, they was spiraling. They was cutting everybody. They was firing people. And they had already invested in a lot of people, so they losing money because when you fire somebody, you lose money. That's not saving money because turnover actually cost the company money, right? So then they went out and they signed Pat McAfee. So that was a big investment. I think 85 million or something like that. I don't know, but a whole bunch of millions to that. Then they went out and they got Shannon Sharp. And then when they got Shannon Sharp, everything is going back and forth with the ratings between Fox and Shannon Sharp. Like ever since Shannon Sharp left Fox, how is Undisputed doing? Now that he's on ESPN, how is First Take doing? So they want to compare. Now, boom, you got Shannon Sharp with his own quote unquote show, and then you got ESPN on a live game. They do a picture in picture where they got the 76ers or whoever was playing on the left, and then you got the live play-by-play with Kevin Hart, Andre Iguodala, and those three guys. And then during the live broadcast, Kevin Hart starts going at Cat Williams indirectly. So who's the benefactor from all of this? It's gonna be ESPN because Shannon Sharp gets 20 plus million. This is in the first week of the interview. They already done hit 20 million. So this is gonna, let's say it's
And
gonna
look at the
run.
YouTube monetization. It used to be 3 cents. It's down to 1 cent a view. That's 1 cent a view
But
times 20 million.
but ESPN don't care about that, and
Of course.
ESPN is into raping people, right? So let's stop that. Not they into using people, right? So let's say redact raping people. So let's say, for instance,
Yeah. Yes,
ESPN
sir.
is gonna benefit off of all these views of their now number one analyst, who is Shannon Sharp. So 20 million people see Shannon Sharp. They're gonna follow him where? To
To
ESPN when
ESPN.
he does First Take. So now now in the caught in the web of all of this? Who's the black man that's caught in the middle that's gonna stand to lose the most? Stephen A. Smith.
Yep. And
That's
you know the
crazy.
funny thing is, the producers of today are not the same of producers like 20 years ago.
Nope.
So they're starting to realize that with all of these social media apps and websites and how things go viral, they like, we need controversy. We need to get
Yep.
that. We need to
Exactly.
get that.
Exactly. So how you do it? Like, what do? You start off the year just right. So now that was my third point. ESPN is really behind. ESPN has the most to gain, and is possibly the puppet master of this whole thing. You feel
Yeah,
me?
who did say ESPN didn't even pay Cat Williams to be open speak like that?
That's what I'm saying. Exactly right. So ESPN is the puppet master in this whole thing. They done set the whole thing up. Now Cat Williams and everybody he's throwing shots at, they're gonna win in a small way. They're gonna get their little bit from it, but at the end of the day, ESPN is winning the most. Now, the last thing I'm gonna say is I feel like it was an alley oop. Like he threw them an alley oop because now we're talking about Cedric the Entertainer. We're talking about Tiffany Haddish. The last time I seen Tiffany Haddish was on this podcast called Holding Court. It's this brother who used to be with No Limit, and he's like, he wasn't a rapper, but he was like behind the scenes. But now he has a podcast. Last time I seen Cedric the Entertainer was the last time I seen Ghost on Power. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Steve Harvey is still circulating. Not Tiffany Haddish. Michael Blackson, don't know nothing about him anymore. Ludacris, I know he was doing his whole expatriate thing in Africa, getting his dual citizenship or whatever, but that was a few years ago. You know what I'm saying? He ain't really been.
Yeah, if it
Uh,
wasn't for Fast and the Furious, the most recent one, like I wouldn't even know if he was still alive or not. To be honest with
so that's what he talked about that in his
you.
in
Yeah,
his in
yeah.
his freestyle, and that's what I'm saying. So now, and then Cat Williams himself. What he been doing? He been kind of silent too. Not to say that none of these people ain't making motion in their own in their thing, but they're entertainers. So you haven't
I
seen
mean,
them.
he spoke about like the Netflix like episodes or whatever, but I'll be on Netflix and Netflix is pure trash right now. Let's put that out there. I don't know if you want to edit that part, but I mean, so when I used to like go on Netflix and look for comedy, I end up leaning more toward the Dave Chappelle side because I go look for his stuff, and it's not like more current. It's like a year old, 2 years old. Like I ain't seen really nothing new. He was speaking about how he got all these different shows or episodes or whatever on Netflix, but it ain't that relevant to me like the way he was speaking. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like can't.
the thing about for me personally, I don't search for comedy at all. Like I've never been a person who searched for like I grew up with Def Comedy Jam. You know what I'm saying?
Me too.
So yeah, so I watched Def Comedy Jam. I watched the current like the things that like matter of fact, I was thinking about this the other day. I I was watching Eddie Murphy Raw with my family. You know, my mother, father. I
Yeah,
remember
me too.
when
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So I seen that's where I come from. You know, the specials. So when Dave Chappelle did his Netflix special, I watched it, but I didn't like. I only watched it then. I'm gonna watch it at that moment. I'm not gonna watch it a second time. Like I'm not going back to watch old jokes. You feel me? Like
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the one thing that I appreciate from comedy is that they really are like rappers. You know, they tell current events in a way that they can get away with it. You feel me? Because they're comedians, but they're like the court jesters. You know what I'm saying? They're the people in the city who are the joke. They're the joke of the town. It's the only difference is today you put millions of dollars behind it, and it's hard to laugh at them because so many other people don't have what they have. But I'm not going to Netflix to look for any comedy specials. You feel me? Like if I watch anything on Netflix, it's sci-fi. You know what I'm saying? And that's really it. Um, I don't
But
really watch.
it's to no avail that I found like, cause like when I looked at his stuff, it was old stuff, and I'm like you. When I played the first 10, 15 minutes of it, I'm like, I heard all this before, so it's not even funny anymore, and some of it is definitely not even relevant anymore.
But
So
but
I feel
the
you.
thing about it, this is the thing. He's the thing that a comedian is in the business for is to get that check. So if Netflix is gonna pay anybody to do a comedy special, like remember they was complaining about Monique got uh like a quarter of what that other white girl got or whatever, you know what I'm saying, for doing a
Yeah,
special. So the whole thing is about the check. They getting that check up front. So if it's still on there years down the line, it means it did well enough that they kept it in circulation. But I don't care about the money they make. You know, I think Kevin Hart is funny, you know, but a lot of people don't think he's funny. I think Dave Chappelle is funny, but a lot of people don't think he's funny. But I'm not I'm not a big comedy guy anyway. You feel me? Like I grew up, like I said, I grew up on Def Comedy Jam, and ain't none of that happening no more. You don't see nothing like that.
yeah, and plus there was like a lot of unknown people at the time, cause and they had to bring that fire to even
Yeah,
be humorous to be on that show, and I enjoyed it because you go from one comedian to the next in a
yeah.
30-minute segment, and it was very enjoyable to
Hmm.
watch. But now you're right, it's different.
But what I was gonna say is this: he did say some funny shit. Like he was like, um, looking for Cedric the Entertainer. You don't find him on Netflix or Tubi, and without like, it's like if you know, you know. Like I've never watched Tubi ever,
I mean, neither man. My uncle
but
does, but I've downloaded it, but I never tried it.
like when I was overseas, you know, we use IPTV. Like you get all the free channels, right? All you gotta do, it's like how people do Fire Sticks over here, but
Yeah,
we don't use Fire Sticks over there. We just have um, we download like we might get a different type of apparatus or whatever, and then download the Amazon store, Google Play Store, and then whatever. So we get all the channels, right? But I never watched Tubi, even with that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if you know, you know, because Tubi is free. So
yeah. Like Hulu used to be free when we was in college, and when they finally went to that pay thing, I'm like, I'm not paying for no Hulu. I mean, I used to watch
yeah,
really good stuff on Hulu, but
that's and
both of
that's
them,
that's
them
the
the
exact mind state I got. Like I'm not jumping from all these different subscriptions. You feel me? But again, the funniest thing about what he said is it's not on Tubi. Tubi is free. And if your joint, you're supposed to be a superstar, and your joint not even on the free joint, yo, that's and they
yeah,
put anything on that, like any type of movie be on that Tubi joint. So anyway, any type of content be on there. So because they trying to build themselves up like Netflix. So yeah, that's that, right? So now, like I said, let's come back. What you You watched the whole thing. What's your take on it? Like, how you feel about it?
How do I feel about that? Like I like Cat Williams, like content and his acting. But when I watched the whole thing, what did I take from that? I mean, one thing I took for that is that, like, okay, I have a friend, and when he be ranting and raving, I remember one time he was like, why all these successful people, they always throw like, oh, I give praise and thanks to God, but he's like, I praise God all the time. Why am I struggling? Why am I suffering? And in my perspective, I had to explain to him, like, bro, it's kind of like more like they have to say that, but that don't mean they mean that. And so when
Mm,
he was throwing that out there a lot, God and Jesus and the Father, and like good versus evil. And I was like, man, I ain't really buying that stuff from him, man. Like, yeah, he might have adopted some kids and he's a single parent, but he's making it look like he's the saint, the living saint, and these other people sold their soul. And I remember Vibes Cartel was like, how can somebody sell a soul? Like, when does God deal with money, and the devil deal with, like, how much is that? How much the soul costs then? And I just feel like, you know, he kind of could be a puppet as well. That I was like, I ain't buying into all that. Like, he's just like his. I think Cat Williams has a persona and he has perfected it. And watching that show, I was like, he brought that comedy acting style format to make this thing pop off. I'm not buying all that about when you in facing evil and bad, and I'm the good guy because I didn't get my thing sucked and other dudes did and all that. I just feel like they don't even care if you know that the guy to suck. You know what I mean? They just like, yeah, say that stuff so I can get back popular, man. We need some help. Let's all get paid. Like, we getting paid pennies to what these big people are, but at least we can get some money. I mean, because to me, it's like throw everybody under the bus. Like, you the shoemaker, but the man selling the shoes make more money than you, and he throws you under the bus. So you got the Honda, but the shoe seller got the Mercedes Benz. So he was just playing his part. That's how I looked at it. He was just playing his part.
so you once again you say the same thing that I was saying on the file that I lost. So number one, you said about God. So in the joint that I had recorded earlier, right? I'm like, the God that he's referring to may not be the God that the regular people are referring to, because, and I only say because, they're all in Hollywood. And just with being Hollywood, you got the Holly tree. That's what where the magic wand is coming from the Hollywood, whatever. But these people are in a completely different realm of existence. You feel me? So,
Yeah, because even when politicians say I give thanks to God, it's all the same to me.
right, exactly.
They
Now,
not like really, really, like you know, they may be doing sacrificial things and rituals, but it's not like the one I think like my mom or my grandparents or my ancestors. Like, no, most definitely not.
exactly. And then, so that's one take I took from it. Like, there's no way that these Hollywood cats is talking about the same type of God that the people who watch them and admire them are talking about. I don't care what faith they follow. I just don't think they talking about the same God. The
You
second
need the
part
support of
was
the people. You need the support of the people. So you have to say those verbiage or
exactly,
words to resonate to keep you relevant. And these when you do these shows, these people work hard for their money and they go easily give it up. It's like
yeah,
paying your tithes or whatever. You know what I mean?
yeah. And the second thing was, like you said, he was in character right there. Like, he's acting right there on the couch. You feel me? So, like, when he got up and he stood up in front of Shannon Sharp, and he he said that funny shit. He was talking about Shannon. He said, "I would have popped his belly right there in that patch." I'm like, yo, that joint was funny as heck. And then the other part where he got up, he's like, a person may use steroids, but you can't bring that body in here and talk about anything, to the person that works hard. And he's like, when he got up, he was looking at Shannon Sharp. He said, you stand up across from him and you say, "Now what's up?" That's because
Dude was funny though.
he's so small. and Shannon
Yep.
Sharp is looking up to him. You know what I'm saying? That's funny as hell. In the you got a lot of takeaways. So he had a lot of quotes. Like he said, winners can't allow liars to rewrite history. You know what I'm saying? Like that's real talk. So sometimes we
I
get
even
things.
wrote something that he said down, and I posted it on one of my social media. But go ahead, I'm gonna look it
So
up.
this is so one of the topics I was referring to earlier, like when I did my joint, was the reality versus fantasy. So I was making this all through like red pill, blue pill, right? So we we we've heard about the whole Matrix this for many years, ever since the Matrix came out, and then
Yeah,
even with Sophia Stewart, who wrote the original book, and it was stolen. She wrote the Matrix and the Terminator, and they stole it, and those two books are combined.
yeah. But
It
I
really,
did hear something about her going to court, and I read it, and she didn't even show up to the court date though.
no, she lost, but she
That's
couldn't
because he
fight.
didn't show up,
She
from my
could,
understanding.
but check it. She lost her fight to the Wachowski brothers. If you look for the Wachowski brothers today, you won't find them because they have become the Wachowski sisters.
All right.
So when you look at the whole Hollywood thing and you look at rituals, you look at these rituals, or not rituals, but these initiations that they do, similar to what we're talking about right now. You know, in order to get to certain levels, like they even discussed, you know, certain people are able to climb to different levels and maintain those different levels because once they reach a height, in order to not get knocked back down, they have to have like this they have to live inside of a circle. Like they can't say certain things, like Kevin Hart when he said the thing about the LGBT community, he had to apologize or they was gonna take him off the Grammys. You
Yeah,
feel me?
yeah.
So
Retract this statement, right?
right. So who's to say that the Wachowski brothers didn't do something like that in order to keep that franchise and all its royalties? You feel me? So she's been on plenty of, like, and at the end of the day, I want to make it clear, like, it really doesn't affect me because um I watched the Terminator when I was real small and I never read any of her books, so it doesn't affect me, but I'm just bringing it up as a point of reference, right?
Yeah, I
So
got
we understand like the Matrix and all these things, but what the reason I brought that up is because we can we can get lost in the truth that he says and forget about it's an act and they're all in concert together because he has so many quotables and it was funny and he's believable and he revealed some true things that happened, and you know some things that was done, people were done wrong, but at the end of the day the devil tells one truth and 1,000 lies from my perspective. You feel me?
It's
So
funny you said that because I wrote this down. He said on that show today when I watched it, he said he quoted I quote what he said. He said the truth is really the commodity. It's funny we talking about truth.
and he said that he's, you know, he kept on, exactly, he kept on talking about the truth, and it's like no matter what, and that's the other part of what I was saying today about the red pill and the blue pill, because up until today a lot of people was trying to go that red pill route, but they realized it was just too difficult. You know, like the truth is hard to withstand because you're living in this world, like especially if you're in America, you're living in this world where you got rent, you got taxes, you have crime, and you have a crime from,
Housing.
well, yeah, you have, well,
Yeah,
rent. That's what I was saying, rent. But
yeah,
you
yeah.
have you
My
have
bad. Yeah.
political crime that you just can't even think about fighting. So they've gotten worn out, and you got babies having babies, and they're not about to be red pill. They're gonna be, oh, you know, help me take care of my, help me get my next blunt, help me get my next liquor, you know what I'm saying, my next drink, and go party, you know what I'm saying. I don't care about the truth, and I don't care about being all serious. I want to have fun, and everything is a joke. So now when you look at what's happening, it's like no matter what Ice Cube comes out and says, as far as Cat Williams wasn't lying, no matter how much and nobody is calling him a liar, people aren't looking for him to be called a liar. They're just looking for the drama for these people to come out and start a fight, like a back and forth spat. You feel me? Nobody cares about the truth. The truth is the last thing they want, because the truth is going to end all of the commotion. You feel me? This is where we are today in this society, man. It's like,
Yeah, they commotion hungry.
yeah, it's the drama. It's the what do you call it? Not drama, but not
The
chaos.
the quarreling back and forth, the turmoil
Yeah, then
type of
the
society.
gossip and the drama. Yeah, gossip, drama. All that world star hip hop. They just wanna watch. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they would
Because
rather watch that. Yeah,
like when Kevin Hart was on ESPN, he didn't say he's lying. He said Google it, fact check it. When he, instead of saying fact check, like this dude said that you didn't do this and do that, why didn't you just say he was lying? If you would have said he was lying, then now he has to come and prove what he said, or he looks like a liar. But you said Google it. Who's gonna Google it? Because at the end of the day, if I'm big enough, I can sanitize my information from the web. You know what I'm saying? Like I can,
and
I
that's
can
called digital Maoism. So if 10 people say this is true, but one person has the actual truth, but everybody in the world is looking at these 10 people write up that all coincide with each other, the world's going to go with that more than the person that actually has the truth. That's why the internet is saturated with
exactly,
BS.
exactly. Yeah, man. So yeah. You got any? We already
Yeah, but
at
before
40.
I forget, take it
Yeah,
from
yeah,
me. Like
yeah,
I've tried the red pill and I was on the blue pill, and I'm a well-rounded person. So I created the purple pill because I took half the blue and half the red, so I can have a balance in society right now. So I know it's just like balance. You got your negative and your positive. You're hot and you're cold, and you got to know when to be which one in order to float through this makeshift universe they got going on right now. Because I know how the universe works. I'm very wise to know that I don't have to be in it. But sometimes if I'm on a mission for what's it with it, self preservation, I
yeah,
know sometimes I got to be on the blue pill. So I just constantly take the purple pill so I can be like knowing I'm really belonging on the red side. But when I'm dealing with these particular group of people, yeah, I'm on your blue pill right now. How you doing, sir?
yeah. Who, you talking to somebody? What was
No,
that?
no, I'm just, yeah, but that's how I'm saying. That's how I approach the blue pill
Oh,
people, man. Yeah.
yeah. So I, I, I'm gonna touch on that before we end. So I agree with you 100%. I did the whole red pill thing. Not necessarily did the red pill thing, but I detached myself from society, for a minute, and tried my best. Like I went all in, just detaching myself from like the world. And it's just like in the movie. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be forever on the run, and the truth is you're chasing yourself, because you have to coexist. You cannot exist in a world that you don't create. You feel me? So if you don't create banks, hospitals, grocery stores, places of recreation, telecommunication, food, housing, everything that a society is built on, or an environment that you have to live in thrives on, then you're going to always be in flux. You feel me? So you have to coexist, and you have to find that happy medium. And at the same time, you can go back to, like I said, the devil tells one truth and 1,000 lies. You have to coexist with the devil to a degree, because the devil knows more than you. And the devil is playing a game with you, just like you're trying to get away from the devil. But the devil is always going to provide you with carrots, or he's going to provide you with something that you need to sustain, so that he can continue on doing what he's trying to do. He doesn't want to. He wants to beat you, but he also has to keep going, because if he can keep, if like it's like stringing somebody out, you know, if I string you out on drugs, and I know that you got people who you can steal from to get your next fix, as long as you're alive, I'm going to be able to sell you my drug because you're going to find a way to get it from somebody else. And eventually, the impact that you have on them might lead them to me. You feel me? So that's the way that we're not really seeing it. We're not seeing that in order to defeat the devil or defeat a wicked society is to build our own society or to build up our forces to defeat the devil. So, you know what I'm
Yo, I
saying?
can't wait till you come to my podcast because my co-host, she's a woman of my age, and we have
Yeah,
these discussions before we do the podcast.
yeah,
And bro, that's what she's been saying. Like, cause like I was complaining about the roads one day, and she was like, "Take care of yourself first, and then
yeah,
when you make all this great money, you're gonna be around other people who think like you and those people together are going to be able to fix the road." And when I be complaining about other black people, and I be like on some like these are some ninjas, she was like, stop worrying about them, worry about yourself, work on yourself. And so
yeah.
that way, she was like, you don't want to let what that is going on stop you from knowing that you can build your own society, and it just take a bunch of people thinking like you can't bring every like you just constantly always want to. She's like, done, you always want to bring and drag everybody along, but she's like, I understand you love your race, you love your ethnicity group,
Yeah.
whatever, but some people just can't be saved.
So you just prolong the talk again because I'm gonna share this with you. So you know we connected on Facebook, so you'll see a post I just put up a little while ago, and I was on the phone with this company, and the woman was it was I got this woman. So first time I called in, I got a person. She was supposed to send me some information. I never got it, but I got an email from them, and I followed up on that email, and I'm like, I don't know if that's correct. So I called them back. I got someone else. The lady asked me a few questions, like some qualifying questions, and I didn't give her the answer. She's like, you know what, you lucky because other person would have hung up on you already. But what do you need, sir? So I start telling her, but I'm like keeping it real with her, like, well, I don't know. I don't know if I did this correctly, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So she's like, all right, she starts investigating the situation. She starts seeing that some stuff going on. In the process of all of this, she's like, usually you got 3 minutes. We already hit 15 minutes. So, you know what I'm saying? So she like, she starts digging deeper and digging deeper. She's like, did the lady tell you this? I'm like, no. And she's like, Dad. She's like, these people are so crazy. She's like, did she tell you this? I'm like, no. She's like, she just starts getting frustrated, right? So she's like talking to herself. She's like, don't allow your appetite to get in the way of your assignment. You feel me? So, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, I tell her straight up, I'm like, you know what? I need it. I understand like your time is valuable, but you needed to run into me and I needed to run into you because I needed to meet somebody who was real, and you needed to run into somebody that needed your help because you're a real person. And that was it. We got disconnected, but she texted me back or whatever, but we never even spoke after that. But what needed to happen happened, right? So
Yeah.
today I was on Instagram a little while ago, and I'm scrolling and I run across this thing. It says, um, the assignment. Hold up, let me tell you. I'll tell you 1 second.
All
It
right.
said, it said, now this joint was crazy because that just happened the other day. You know what I'm saying? So now today, this joint says everybody is not your assignment. That's why you're drained. Hashtag self care. Yo,
And I've been
that
working on
was
it since me and my co-host, like I asked her to be a part of my podcast. Like we talk every other day or every other 3 days, just catch up, hash out some thoughts, some stuff. And she's a very good person, man. And like she just kind of like confirmed that I need to stop like really like trying to like save the world and Da, da, da. And I used to be like,
Yeah.
nah, but like, I mean, I was raised like this, and I'm supposed to love my people. And she was like, that doesn't make you a bad person, you know what I mean? And
Oh, BS
then,
though, bro.
huh?
That's BS, man. That's BS, yo. Like what we was raised on to believe, like the plight of the black man,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
unity. No, that's all BS, yo. That's all BS, yo.
I have another friend. She's a school teacher out in California, and she brought to my attention some year ago, not too long ago, but she was like, "We always been divided," and I was like, "What do you mean?" And she was like, "Well, even like during slavery, you had the house nigga versus the field nigga," and I'm like, "Yeah, I know that part." And she was like, Even after slavery, you had the Greeks, you had the middle class, upper class, lower class, the different religions, like rather been Islam and Christianity, and even within Christianity, the different denominations. Then you had the politicians, whether it be Democrat, Republican, Independent. She's like, you had the Boule versus this. I was like, you know what? You're right. We have never, literally, ever, never, ever.
And don't forget the whole topic nowadays about indigenous American culture.
Yeah,
So, and when
at
you
first
well, hold
it
up,
was like what it was the other. First it was ADOS. Then it went from ADOS to FBA,
FBA, and
FBA. Yeah, yeah. I'm like,
and
hold
now
on, hold
and now
on.
indigenous. Now you got so you got ADOS, which is
Yeah,
American Descendants of Slaves. Then you got
yeah,
FBA, which is
yeah.
foundational
Black American.
Black Americans. But then you
Yeah.
got the Aboriginal community, and then you have the Indigenous Americans. And so, but I'm saying
Oh,
as
then you
far
got the Comedics. You got the Comedics.
oh,
You
you
got the
got the
Moors.
conscious community, you got the
Yeah,
Moors, you got the
yeah.
but I'm
It,
you got but I'm
it's
saying
ongoing, bro. Yeah,
I'm saying even before I'm saying back in the day, like with the tribes, that
yeah.
the reason why they was able to be overthrown or overtaken was because they was divided amongst the east, the west, the central, the north, the south. So
Yep.
like the Wampanoag and the Narragansett wasn't rocking with the Creeks. The Wampanoags and the Narragansett was rocking with the Lenape, but the Lenape and them wasn't rocking with the Seminole. It was like that. So when the British came in, when these people came in, they was
The
able to divide.
French, the conquistadors, the
Yeah,
British, the
well, the Moors when the Moors
Portuguese.
came in, the Moors was really the one. But that's getting way off topic. But yeah, that's the
Yeah,
dis.
my bad, my bad.
No, you good. I'm just saying me. I'm me. I'm gonna go in, but it's that's the disunity, and that's why you can't focus on not you, but we as people, individuals. You look at you look at the design of other cultures. Like I lived in Saudi for 8 years, so although they're connected as Saudis, they're disconnected in tribes. You know what I'm saying? Like the Al Shamari stretches all the way from Saudi all the way to Syria. You know what I'm saying? And that goes from like Saudi, like Riyadh, Eastern region, all the way up north, and then all in between from Saudi all the way to Jordan, where there's the big chief is in this little city in Syria, who's the chief of the entire Shamari clan or tribe. And then uh you got the Kabani, and then you got the Kalbani, and you got the Al Dosari. Al Dosari are black people. They're normally dark skinned people, so they call me Jamal Al Dosari because they say I look like one of them. You feel me? But they're disconnected on that level, especially when you have people who call themselves real Saudis, and then you got these. They know the history of the migration. They'd be like, well, they'll tell the foreigner they're not really Saudi. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
But
okay.
they're connected.
Yeah,
They're connected
yeah.
under the banner of being a Saudi. But when all that nationalism is out the window, no, they not rocking with the Muteri is not rocking with the um Katani. You feel me? So it's just it's crazy, bro. It's
So let's
crazy.
rewind it back to this Cat Williams then. So we
Yeah,
you brought the red pill, blue pill then,
yeah,
and it
yeah,
led to
yeah,
this conversation. So
yeah.
let's rewind a little bit. So now you got me looking at it like, you know what? That was a blue pill moment trying to be masked as a red pill.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
It came off like it was all red pill, but
Yep.
being that we know how radio and television work, that was a blue pill.
And to bring it full circle, because you brought this up,
Yeah.
you said you got to have a purple pill. So the way that we looking at it, we took the purple pill because we see through the bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. So we can watch it like it's a blue pill, I mean a red pill moment, but we like, nah, I ain't
Exactly.
buying that shit. That's some fucking
Exactly.
that's some blue pill shit, cause that's like
Exactly.
that's some old like, production type shit. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like we went to college
Exactly.
for this shit. We ain't in Hollywood, but we had to take, and just like even when we took sociology, you know what I mean? I love the fact that I went to college before I went to the army, and I didn't finish college because I joined the army after my freshman year in college. So when I went back to college in Atlanta, that sociology class was an eye opener. That's when I realized, yo, humans did study humans, and they wrote books about it, and that's how they do marketing and promotions and
Yeah.
run corporations and government from studies of our behavior. So when that teacher explained to me that we are like actors and that there's props and costumes, and the only time you probably really your real self is when you're in that four-cornered room, nobody around, you're doing whatever Lord knows what because you feel comfortable in your own skin in that four-cornered room. But when you step, and then she broke down your props is like your suitcase, and your costume is like your suit, and prop is a purse and a wig. And I'm like, yo, bro, like we literally walk out that house or that apartment and we go into character because like you just can't go in. Like some jobs you can't have dreadlocks, so you got to cut your hair off. Some jobs don't care about dreadlocks, but you got to wear this uniform. And it's always like, you know what I mean? So yeah, like the purple pill is real,
Hell
for
yeah.
me.
Hell yeah. Yep. All right, man. So we got to do it again. I know.
For sure.
Tell me to end it. Tell me about your podcast that you got popping off. If you want to go into the previous one you had, or and what you do. I know you do some music or whatever. So
So I'll
here's
just try to
go
sum
ahead.
it up. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
I'm Don
Sum it up.
Serious, and so at the end of this month, I'm going to introduce the world to my show, which is just basically the Don Serious Show with my co-host. Her name is Excellency, and my podcast is mainly going to be created within a semi truck that I bought. I'm an owner operator, so I have like 9 years of experience in logistics and over 20 years in producing music in the background. And I like fine arts, visual communication. So I'm just going to take all of my military experience and my music experience and my trucking logistics transportation experience and my worldly knowledge and put it all in a podcast and be like more like the 2024 and beyond Black Howard Stern talk show type of vibe. You know what I mean? So I don't be filtered or held back, and I'm gonna just let my personality, not a persona, but my actual personality, come out and you just create good content.
True, true, true. How can people get in touch with you?
They gonna be able to reach me via email, Instagram, Facebook, and I will be marketing my website for it. And I would mainly want to say email too. But I don't want to like give out my personal number to unless it's like somebody I'm really doing business with. Yeah, I gotta kind of like monitor that. But them to be the main avenues. And I'm looking to being on Patreon, and my podcast is gonna be on Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora and YouTube. So, and this is mainly like a short 30-minute segment to the most, and any, exclusive content, I'm gonna be looking for people to subscribe to the Patreon, you know, so you can get down to the nitty-gritty content without, messing up the algorithm on YouTube or whatever. So,
Well, you didn't. I asked you how can they get in touch with you, but you didn't give any information about how they can get in touch with you.
Oh yeah, I'm not really well, I don't
I
know
mean,
which email to use. Yeah, I got to fine comb through all of like how people can easily reach me. You know what I'm saying? Like I
so
really
you're
don't have
gonna
that.
put that on hold. You're gonna put that on hold.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that on hold. Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm on another podcast and I'm watching the functionality with that podcast and I'm observing other people's podcasts. So
Mm.
I'm at the end stages of fine tuning those type of questions out. Because like once I establish a certain email, a certain point of contact, how to reach me, I'm rocking with that. And I'm gonna also be covering like finance, like um my co-host, she got a great idea that people can hire me to give just basic general knowledge about credit, so I don't have to worry about getting sued. Because I'm not trying to say I'm like a financial guru or I went to college for finance. It's just the open
Yeah,
entry level to knowledge on trucking and finance and some other like means of knowledge that I know I'm pretty proficient with. Like even the production side of music. So you know,
yeah,
I'll fine comb all of that and get it fine tuned to like to the point where it'll just come off and roll off the top of my tongue with ease.
for sure, for sure. All right, well, yeah. So let's end that here, and then we're gonna get up. We're gonna do another one. If we could do this regularly if you like. But yeah,
Oh, I
all
don't
right,
mind.
yeah, all right. So we're gonna end it here, and then uh,
I appreciate you bringing me on. This is pretty dope. This is the California people say this is lit. Yeah, I like this, man. This is cool.
yeah, all right, bro. So I'm gonna end this, and then I'm gonna hit you after. I'm gonna hit
Okay.
you after I end this right here.
Okay. All right. If I'm not mistaken, we got to stay on here so this file can upload, right?
I'm not sure, but yeah, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it said. That we like. So when we end this, I know the file got to upload. So
I,
all right.
so I'm gonna hit you.
All right. Later.
All right, peace.